We depend on social interactions to understand each other and establish relationships. So when a loner comes along, it disrupts our inert system of bonding with each other. This is perhaps why those who belong to the Aquarius zodiac sign are usually misunderstood. They are one of the most reclusive people you will come across, but there is so much that is fantastic about them you should know. In this video, we would enter into the shrouded world of the Aquarius and discover how wonderful they are. Aquarius is the 11th sign of astrology, created by the stars of the northern hemisphere. The sun passes through the sign roughly between January 20th and February 18th. This zodiac sign has a very intriguing story behind its symbol. According to Greek mythology, the Phrygian youth, Ganymede, is the water bearer and the symbol of this sign. Tros, the king of Troy, whose son was Ganymede, was observed by Zeus on Mount Ida as he quietly tended to his father's sheep. And from an unexplainable depth of love and compassion for the young lad, Zeus, the ruler of the gods, transformed himself into a big bird and descended to the mountain, carrying him up into the heavens. Ganymede has ever since acted as the god's cupbearer. It is believed that Aquarians are compassionate and always want to serve wherever they see a need. Uranus, the planet that rules invention, technology, and unexpected events, is the ruler of the sign. This planet perfectly enhances the unconventional quality of these air signs. With that said, let's get right into it to discover what makes these water bears tick. The first thing you would notice about an Aquarian is their eccentricity and rebellious nature. These air signs stray far from what is considered conventional, and we see it even in their unique sense of fashion. And what about their hobbies? They are an adventurous bunch who would rather tackle puzzles or volunteer for services that others would think inconvenient. Another thing about this sign is their single-mindedness. If they have their minds set on something, getting them to see things differently would be one hell of a task. There's no doubt, belonging to a fixed sign definitely does have the effect of making Aquarians a stubborn stock. As good and sweet as this character of theirs sound, it never fails to get them into trouble more times than average. But still, they are never deterred by that. Despite their unearthly stubbornness, trust me, Aquarians are great problem solvers. If you need an innovative solution to an age-old problem you're finding hard to solve, then these zodiac signs are your go-to. As people who spend a lot of time alone, coming up with unique approaches to issues is what these folks do for fun. These fixed signs are always juggling thoughts in their heads, which perhaps makes thinking outside the box so natural to them. In there, they utilize a large chunk of their mind power to simply come up with solutions to numerous societal issues and map up strategies on how to attain goals. This is one reason why no question catches these air signs by surprise. We can easily chuck this up to them being ruled by the planet of innovation and surprises. Another cool fact about Aquarians is their big heart. Although they are mostly misunderstood and perceived to be aloof, no other sign of the zodiac has a heart as caring and full of concern for societal well-being as they are. They always want to see justice done in every situation, which explains why they don't really get along with authorities, most especially when justice doesn't seem to be served. Aquarians are the kind of people you'll find in charity campaigns, clamoring for the preservation of wildlife and more sustainable practices to save the future of our planet. This trait of theirs also explains their deep humanitarian spirit. It is the motivation behind their unbiased tendencies and affinity to contribute their all to any team they belong to. So, if you have any Aquarian in your corner, you can stop worrying whether they are giving it their all, because they are, in fact, giving their everything. When it comes to the question of compatibility, Aquarians may have a hard time getting along with fellow fixed signs Taurus and Scorpio. This is because they are equally stubborn, and having a lot of them together won't create that much-needed bond. Generally, fellow air signs Libra and Gemini share the same emotional language as Aquarius, which typically makes them the most suitable sign when it comes to friendships and romantic partnerships. They also thrive with Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, who are all fire signs as they speak the same intellectual language. Water bearers are all shades of good for the cause of humanity and those around them. Nevertheless, they still have their negative sides, which doesn't make them any less special. Remember, these fixed air signs do not live their lives by the status quo. Well, this is one reason they prefer being alone. In simple terms, Aquarians are lone rangers, and this has nothing to do with them being antisocial, as many people misconstrue them to be, but simply because they need more time alone to process all that they have going on in their heads. So, if your Aquarian friends ask for time and space to be alone, it is not because they are trying to be rude or act distant. It's just their nature. And if they perceive you are demanding too much of their alone time or trying to hinder their solitude, they will assume you're after their independence and could eventually shut you out totally. This zodiac sign will also do everything within its power to avoid an argument. So, what better way to do this than being alone? At least, so they think. You will quite agree that since they mostly live by their personal ideals, the tendency of getting into fracas with others who don't share their imaginations could be very high. So they would rather go on one of their adventurous hikes across some lonely mountain rather than be with anyone. Aquarians tend to be overthinkers. Since these air signs already take a great deal of time to make decisions, there's no telling how far into the unknown their thoughts would carry them when they spend so much time alone. While this trait makes them excellent planners as they will definitely have everything figured out, it can also make them very obsessive over inconsequential details. Despite being certified overthinkers, Aquarians can also be spontaneous. They are frequently bored due to their love for exploration, and they can occasionally be unpredictable due to their tendency to adapt rapidly to anything. The spontaneity of Aquarians can, however, annoy those around them because they never know what they'll get up to next. Aquarians also mostly come off as aloof and cold on the surface. They may even seem completely detached sometimes, but that's only because they hate to engage in small talk. Whenever they start giving off this cold attitude, it is mostly because they find themselves amid a conversation they have no interest in. Gossip or anything with a sycophantic vibe is not for them. Want to know what interests an Aquarius? Enlightening topics would definitely catch their attention. These beautiful souls are more interested in having a greater societal impact, and as such, they are only up for serious deliberations. In essence, if you want to get an Aquarian talking, all you have to do is just to shift the subject of your discussion from the mundane to something more impactful. One thing you have to watch out for in this astrological sign is their tendency to become engrossed in their thoughts. No doubt they love to think big, but at the same time, they need to be constantly reminded of their immediate surroundings. Aquarians can become so immersed in seeking societal change that they become distant and unavailable even to their family and friends. It would do them a great deal of good to always remember that changes begin from a personal level and then with people in their immediate environment. For this group of divergents, living life is living it easy. Although their love of activism always brings them into friction with established authority, deep down the hustle and bustle of the fast life don't appeal to them. Aquarians love you when you give them their space, so let them have it. This doesn't change the fact that they'll always turn up whenever you need them to anyway. If you've not met an Aquarian before, a look at some of our famous water bearers such as Alicia Keys, Jennifer Aniston, Oprah Winfrey, Shakira, Kerry Washington, and Harry Styles gives us deeper insights into the minds of these stubborn yet innovative ones. Are you an Aquarius or do you know one very closely? We want to hear from you, so leave a comment below.